Friends, I am Makbule Efe from Gördesli. I was born and raised in the Gördesli district of Manisa. I am the daughter of Abdullah Efendi, one of the old and well-known families of Gördesli. On the one hand, Gördesli seems inaccessible among the surrounding mountains, on the other hand, with the warmth, courage and skills of its people. The glory of Gördesli exceeded the limits. The soil of this district is fertile and its people are hardworking. Cherries and quinces as sweet as honey grow in our land. When we were children, huge yellow quinces and crimson cherries hung from the branches of the trees above our heads. We used to go up to the cherry tree and eat the cherry from the branch. We used to pluck the quinces and bite them big. When it got stuck in our throats, we laughed and patted each other's backs. We would have picnic in the shade of the trees and play games by the stream, inhaling the clean air, the green environment. I had a happy childhood intertwined with nature. My father died when I was a child. For this reason, I did not have many memories with him, but I grew up as the precious baby of my brothers. My older brothers taught me to ride horses. We had beautiful horses. I used to get up early in the morning and feed our horses. I used to stroke their feathers and talk to them for hours. Horses are soulful animals. I knew that they understand me and felt me. We were very cute village people with our local clothes and dialect. The place where I lived was also famous for its handmade carpets. Ottoman mansions and mosques were decorated with the carpets we waved. Our carpet embroidery was so popular that we waved carpets for the Kaaba with the Sultan's Ferman. While the days were chasing each other with joy and peace, a war broke out in the world. And this war had spread to our country before we realized what had happened. No one had peace and joy. Our only thought was the struggle for liberation. We heard that the Pashas had started the national struggle to save the country. The enemy had set food in the country. They thought they would get us out of the country, but they were wrong. We would show the world that it was impossible. We were doing our best as men and women. We started to support the national struggle with our property and our lives. All of the men had joined the army. Women and children started to wait for the day when their husbands and fathers would come with ferries. I was going to show the world not only the Asian men but also Asian women are Efe. I started to struggle for the war of independence. My husband Halil Efe was in the army. I wanted to serve in the army with him. The enemy was in our homeland. Fighting should not be for men only. I had all the skills as a soldier should have. I rode well and above all I was brave. My heart almost drowned out with the feelings of fear and despair. I could fight too. I insisted on getting in the army. I begged Ethem Pasha to take me into the army. Finally, my insistence yielded results, and I convinced Pasha. I went to the mountain as a rider with my husband, Halil Efe. And I convinced Pasha. I went to the mountain as a raider with my husband, Halil Efe. I chased enemies in the mountains of Gördesli, Simav, Bigadic and Sındırgı. I made the mountains unbearable for the enemy. This assertiveness of mine also encouraged the soldiers. Day and night, together with the Raiders League, we did not leave unattended places in the mountains and we took a hard line with the enemy. I always wore black pants, a jacket and a long coat. I was covering my feet with boots and my hat with a black hood, only leaving my eyes open, so it is not very clear that I was a woman. That's how I fought. The enemy was defeated in the Sakarya pitched battle, and they were waiting for an opportunity to come back stronger and face us. Even on the front, where the enemy was strongest, we were uniting in the groups and reducing their strength. The Raiders League was fighting with a much stronger unit than itself, but we had a great advantage. We knew the land well. However, it was not possible to win the war immediately. We were running out of ammo day by day. These endless conflicts also demoralized our soldiers. This, regardless of my fearless march on the enemy, strengthened the fighting spirit of the soldiers in my unit. The army place was the home of the Prophet. What will happen if I run out of ammo? We will throw stones with our hands. Wouldn't God, who gave victory to the birds of Ababil, Bless us. I felt so much that my God was with us. I had no doubt we would drive the enemy out of our homeland. And so it was. I was not mistaken, since you guys are reading my story in your own language right now, under the crescent and star flag. Children, we sacrificed everything for this country. My only wish is to see you being selfless and hardworking and appreciating the value of this country. Remember, doing these useful works for the country and the nation is very important for our future and the future generations. If we hadn't sacrificed everything for the land of our homeland years ago, maybe you wouldn't be reading these lines right now. You are the bright faces of our country. Never give up when you face difficulties.